Hey guys, welcome to another review from Overbite Gaming, and today we're taking a look at Project Wingman. It's from a company called Humble Games, and to be honest, I'd never heard of it. I believe it was a Kickstarter thing initially, and it just popped up in the recommendations queue under VR. Now, I'm always looking for a good VR game. I do like a bit of VR goodness in my life. That's where most of my sexual experiences come from, in fact. But that's a bit off topic. So we'll move back on to Project Wingman, which is a flight simulator in only the barest sense, in the fact it's essentially Ace Combat. I do like an Ace Combat game, I must say. We've got Ace Combat 7, which we reviewed on the channel a ways back. That was actually the PS4 version. I've since bought the PC version. Never played it in VR. I understand. Never made it to the PC version. It was available on PSVR. Never tried it on that, so I missed out. Apparently it wasn't great anyway. It was a bit reductive, and it wasn't like you could play the entire game in VR or anything like that, from what I understand. Never tried it. If I'm wrong, call me out down below, because you will anyway. So we have Project Wingman, and it just popped up. And I was like, you know, I like flying things in VR. I like playing Elite Dangerous in VR. I like playing Squadrons in VR. I'm missing actual real-world planes in VR that I don't need a college degree to actually fly. Looking at you, DCS. So I thought, why not? And on top of it all, £20, that's all it cost. I was like, yeah, it's Christmas time. My bank's balance ain't looking too rosy. Sorry about this, sunshine. You're taking one for the team. £20 it is. Besides, I needed a cheap one. Needed a cheap one after bloody Godfall. I spent 60 quid on that nonsense. Blimey, or 50 or whatever it was. Yeah, wasn't worth it either way. So we have Project Wingman, and it is essentially just Ace Combat. It's not quite as polished. The graphics aren't quite as good. I mean, I definitely bought this more for the VR, but I've captured it in just... I mean, you can play it VR or non-VR, so it's good to have the choice. And I've captured it just playing it with basically on the desktop. So, because we've all seen my VR capture before, and nobody wants that, right? I'll get it one day, lads. Don't worry, I'll figure it out. But yeah, so you've got Project Wingman. You've got a series of missions. I mean, I'm not paying too much attention to the actual bloody story, because it's just one set of people don't like another set of people, and we need to do missions against them. Fine with that. But yeah, you buy planes and everything like that. It's absolutely Ace Combat. It really is. There's a few different differences, so you can have more than one special weapon in this, which is nice. And you have different loadouts for your planes, which is also nice. But the thing I bought it for, really, I mean, as an Ace Combat game, it's probably slightly not as good as Ace Combat itself, but it's very close. And it's better at letting you use hands-on throttle and stick as well, even though that's a bit janky setting it up. Excuse me. So excited, I've swallowed a little air. It's lovely. So yes, but I bought it specifically for the VR, and it does work very well in VR. There are a few rough edges. I mean, it's £20. It's from a smaller software company, one that I've not really heard of before. So that's to be expected, and they are continuing to look at it and add stuff and patch stuff, so it's all good. But yeah, it works splendidly well as a VR plane fighting game. There's a few bits of jank, like in some cockpits I've found they haven't really got the body position right of the pilot, because you can look down and see your own body. And I've had one where my feet are basically through the dash. I'm not sure that's safe in a plane, I must say. There's a few other sort of quality of life things that needs improving, like the stick doesn't move when you move your stick, and the throttle doesn't move when you move the throttle, and there's no like hands. The stick's just like just jutting up in front of you and making me feel quite envious because of my little pee-pee. But outside of that, I mean, it plays exactly like Ace Combat, but with the ability to have better compatibility for hands-on throttle and stick. Now, the jank for that was basically having to redefine everything to the joystick. There's no like set mode for it, which is a bit of yeah. And also I had to tell Steam to like stop looking at controllers basically, because it wasn't recognising the joystick at all initially. But once it's all configured, there's not a whole bunch of buttons. There's certainly less than there was on Squadrons, and there definitely is less than there is on Elite Dangerous. Because my god, I can't do everything I need to do on throw and stick with VR, purely because there's not enough buttons on the stick, and I kind of have to like look out my nose hole at my illuminated keyboard to try and stab any buttons I'm missing. So I always have to buy an auto docker, basically is what I'm saying. But it's a very decent game. It's got a few rough edges, as I say, but I mean you can see from the footage right there, it looks identical to Ace Combat basically. So they've done a really good job, and like after being let down by Namco Bandai, whatever they're called, Namco Bandai, there you go. In that I bought Ace Combat 7 on PC expecting, okay, I've got Oculus, so I don't really want to go out and buy a PSVR headset, especially when I'm not convinced about it, to be fair, but whatever. So yay, here we go. VR, no, you're not getting that sunshine, much like you never got it for Resident Evil 7? Was it 7? I think it was 7. When they had PSVR for that and not for PC, which was a bummer. I don't know, did that ever come out on PlayStation either? I'm not sure. Didn't on PC, definitely. Otherwise, Snare would have whined at me about that. He really did not want to play that in VR. And I don't blame him. That would freak you out. But yeah, it is an Ace Combat game for £20 with full VR support for the entire campaign. They also have what's called a Conquest Mode, which is sort of like roguelite, where you have like a series of missions and you see how far you can get. You earn money by completing campaign missions, and I haven't really done much to the Conquest, so I can imagine you earn money there, but I can't say for sure. And you can buy planes, and I think they give you more planes to choose from as you go through the campaign. There's about 20 right now, but they have removed some from their initial announcement just to make sure they're not, they're in a workable state. One of them has my legs through the dashboard, I'm just saying. And they will be re-adding those and new ones. They promise that the number of aircraft will do nothing but increase. There won't be any removed or anything like that. And for £20, I'm having a blast with it. It does capture flying an aircraft really well. I've never flown an aircraft, just for the record, so I'm imagining that it captures it rather well. And it really comes into its own when you like fly through a cloud and you get condensation on your canopy and stuff like that. It's quite atmospheric. I mean, and it plays like Ace Combat, which is good for me because I'm terrible at the sort of more heavily, like Microsoft Flight Simulator. Ugh, no thank you. It's a chill. I understand it's like more of a chill game, but for me, I'm just like, let's just get where we're going. I can't shoot anybody. What's going on? I don't understand. Ugh. At least I didn't pay money for it. Good old Game Pass. Yay. But yeah, I would highly recommend Project Wingman. I mean, at the current state, as I say, there's a few bits of jank in it. Not too bad. Every time you go in VR, you need to recenter it. But the change camera control that you set up for the third person, going from like cockpit to third person, you're exclusively in first person in VR. So you press that and it just recenters the view. But every time you open the game, it's like off to the side. It doesn't automatically do it. Apparently that's something that's coming in the first patch, just to sort of mop that up. I mean, as a game, it works wonderfully well. I mean, all of the criticisms you can say about it is basically quality of life. I've seen some people having problems setting up their joysticks, but as I say, if you just turn off in Steam, where it's using the Steam sort of controller detection gubbins, you right click, go into properties, it's in there somewhere. If you turn that off, then you should be okay, because it wasn't recognising my stick initially either. But I mean, I am more than happy with a £20 purchase that's getting me into dogfights in an Ace Combat style in VR with hands on front on stick. And to be honest, even if it I didn't have a VR setup. It still plays perfectly well just on your monitor. In fact, it definitely looks better on your monitor anyway. When I've got an Oculus Rift, I can't remember which one. I think it's a CV2. Don't quote me on that though. So it obviously looks better on a 1440p monitor at 144 Hz. So yeah, I would highly recommend. If you're in Oasis Combat, this is a great way of continuing to play that sort of game. And it lacks a lot of the the more flowery elements of the story that can occur, the more poetic stuff. I mean, in terms of like nuance and sophistication, I'm kind of like the brick to the face of that, so it works for me. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got today. I'll give you a score and then we shall skedaddle. And my score would be, in its current state, I think 7 out of 10. I know I always give things 7 out of 10. I think it's highly possible it will go up to an 8 out of 10 once they just round off those edges. The joystick compatibility and also the sort of VR sort of jankiness of like feet through cockpits and stuff like that. Other than that, it's great. It's £20. You can't go wrong if you like this sort of game. Even if you don't have VR, it's still worth getting. And if you do have VR, yeah, it's good. I like it. Anyway, guys, that's all, and take it easy.